received several calls at 6:11 reporting a man firing a gun close to Biddick Drive. Jake Davidson had shot and killed his 51-year-old mother, Maxine Davidson, inside a house. He later left the residence and shot and killed 3-year-old Sophie Martin and her 43-year-old father, Lee Martin, on the street outside. Police say he then moved further down the road and opened fire at a 53-year-old man and a 33-year-old woman. Both are currently in hospital but aren't seriously injured. From there, Davidson went to a nearby park where he shot and killed 59-year-old Stephen Washington. He then went to Henderson Place where he shot 66-year-old Kate Shepherd, who later died from her injuries. Davidson then turned the gun on himself.
Well, first off, I'd like to send my condolences to the victim in this tragic crime. Obviously, what's happened here is extremely horrific. 5 people are dead, including a 3-year-old girl. Look, the reason I made this video is because I think we need to have a little chat about incels. I'm going to be particularly discussing Jake Davidson. This isn't the first time someone from the self-titled incel movement has carried out such an attack. Some other notable incels would include Elliot Rodger, who shot 7 people to death in the USA in 2018.
Girls are not sexually attracted to me. There's a major problem with that. A major problem.
Now that's one of the many videos he made prior to slaughtering 7 people. Incel is short for involuntary celibate. They feel that women are depriving them of their human right to have sex. They feel they have this sense of entitlement that they're owed sex. They usually fester in private forums, and common themes among them are fantasizing rape of women, murder of women. Another notable incel would be Alex Minassian. He killed 10 people with a rental van in Canada. Before carrying out his sickening attack, he did leave a Facebook post. You can read it there. It says, "Private recruit Minassian, infantry, whatever, wishing to speak to Sergeant 4chan, please. The incel rebellion has already begun. We will overthrow all the Chads and Stacys. All hail the supreme gentleman Elliot Rodger." So you can see there that he's, basically praising the guy that I was talking about in the previous video, Elliot Rodger, the guy who killed all those people, killed 7 people with a gun. This guy's, saying he's amazing and whatever, and that he's looking to get involved. You'll also see that, there he's actually referencing Chads and Stacys. So, I've been reading a little bit about this before making this video, and Chads and Stacys are, a really prominent talking point in the incel community. Basically, a Chad is your stereotypical muscly guy. He's attractive, he's outgoing, he gets all the women, and the incel community harbors a lot of hate towards the Chads because they feel that the Chads are, taking the women away from the incels who, they feel that they deserve the women, that, they're entitled to women, and obviously the Stacys then are the women that go for the Chads. So a huge thing about these incels is that they're waging wars on these 2 villains that they've made up in their minds, the Chads and the Stacys, because obviously the stereotypical incel is some weird loser who sits in his room all day and complains about women not talking to them, despite the fact that they probably don't, do anything like work on themselves or try and sort out their toxic behaviors or, anything like that. It's just a pure sense of entitlement with these absolute scumbags. So anyway, now I want to talk a little bit more about the incident that happened in Plymouth. The recent one. And I think something that, this Jake Davidson case really has in common with all the other cases is there was so many warning signs there. I mean, he was extremely active on Reddit. There's numerous posts about him, idealizing kind of violent behavior. He'd been reported to Reddit by a 16-year-old girl for harassment. I mean, he made countless videos on YouTube, about the fact that he was an incel and that he did want some kind of vengeance and that he couldn't handle it anymore. I mean, there's so many red flags there, and this is something that all these cases have in common, is these incels. I mean, they've all posted their intentions on, online. They've been posting them on Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, whatever. They all did it. There was so many warning signs there. People knew about it. They were telling people. And this really raises the fucking question, is why on God's earth aren't social media sites reporting these people to the police? I mean, this man had a gun license in the UK, where it's extremely hard to get a gun license. I mean, it's not like America where you can just get a gun willy-nilly. And I mean, a month prior to this man's gun license was revoked. Had Reddit, notified the police or, done what should be done in the case with these incels and gone ahead and said, look, this guy is, making posts online where he's pretty much saying he's an violent incel. Had that been communicated to the police, his gun license would have been revoked, and this may not have even happened in the first place. I mean, the level of entitlement that these guys have is just absolutely unreal. Like, I can't even get my head around it. Here's a good example. I mean, it's difficult to find any of his previous Reddit posts because obviously a day after the attack, Reddit did remove his account. But this is some of what he was saying. They just say this shit because they just expect us to accept it and go in our corner where we belong. I deserve and am entitled to love a girlfriend, wife, kids too. Why should I have to live a miserable, lonely life? No, sorry, I refuse that. And every self-aware male should not accept that either. I mean, you could see that, these people literally feel that they are entitled and women are obliged to give them what they want. And they don't work on themselves. They don't do anything to make themselves more attractive to women. They don't make an effort. They don't work on their toxic behaviors, like I already said. They simply expect it. And I mean, this really does lead to, these mass murders, these rapes. And there's so much more that can be done about this, like reaching out to these people, identifying early warning signs. It really is not that hard to notice when someone online is at risk. And in each of these cases, it could so easily have been pointed out to the local police that, these guys are saying stuff online, they're pretty extreme. And the thing about it is there's terrorism. This is absolute 100% terrorism. All three of these guys are terrorists. But it's not being reported like that in the media, obviously. Why? Maybe it's because they're white. I don't know. I mean, look, you really don't see white mass murderers being called terrorists. But in my opinion, these incels, they are terrorists. They need to be dealt with as terrorists. And, that is pretty much the case.
Terminator movies is that, everything's rigged against you. There's no hope for humanity. We're on the brink of extinction. These machines are unstoppable, killing machines that can't be beaten, can't be outsmarted. But yet, humanity still tries to fight to the end. And I know it's a movie, but I like to think sometimes, I'm a Terminator or something. And despite reaching almost total system failure, he keeps trying to accomplish his mission,
I mean, how can you not see people like that as a risk? Something needs to be done. I mean, what the fuck, government? What the fuck, social media sites? Get these guys, under surveillance at least. That's really the case of it. Like, I could go in further with this. I could search for incel forums online and, I could show you the comments there, but it's just, it's disgusting, and I don't think that you really want to see it. And to be honest, it's not stuff that I would enjoy reading or, or even looking at. It's just vile. I mean, if you go into these forums, they're all talking about how they want to kill this woman or rape that woman, or how that this woman in the coffee shop didn't show any interest in them, but then a Chad came in and all of a sudden they were getting loads of interest and things like that. So I mean, look, what's going on? These guys are terrorists. That's pretty much the point of this video. You know, not all incels. I'm sure, you know, there's some that just like to talk online, and probably some of them aren't as insidious as, you know, the really extreme ones. But at the end of the day, this is a terrorist movement. Why isn't anything happening? That's what I would like to know. Anyway, guys, you know, thank you for watching my video. This is actually the first video that I've ever uploaded to YouTube, so I'm sure you'll notice that my use of the camera and everything is just a little bit clunky, but thanks for sticking with me. It is just something that I wanted to highlight myself, and I always kind of wanted to set up a channel, so I thought, fuck it, why not? You know, this is something that I think people need to talk about, that they're terrorists. So this might be a good time to start a channel. So if you want to subscribe, you know how to do that. Click the like button. You know, you can comment your opinion. Unless you're an incel, then don't bother. And again, I mean, this is a really tragic thing, and I'm sure it's going to happen again unless social media sites take a little bit more accountability for, you know, monitoring this behavior. Thanks again, and have a great day. Cheers. Bye.